Welcome to 5 Whys of the Ninja Video PowerPoint. This video PowerPoint will help you with your problem identification because it's always important to look before you leap. So let's get started. Ninja Problem Solving 101. You start by knowing your enemy. Surprise, surprise. You need to prepare strategically before you even start to begin to solve the problem. So again, you need to know yourself. This involves clarifying the purpose and the problem that you're trying to solve with your project. Then you need to understand the complexity of the situation. Analyze who are the major actors, the stakeholders, all of the situational variables, and what is your end goal. Then you can figure out what your expectations and outcomes are for the project before you begin your research process, which also involves asking questions. Seems pretty simple, right? But too many people fail to look before they leap. So we're going to walk you through how you do that for your project. First, let's look at the scope. So this scope comes from a fictitious organization that runs a residential program that serves as an alternative for kids who end up in the juvenile detention system. The scope reads, this student team will conduct an analysis of the organization's new website, looking to reduce the bounce rate from the homepage. This team will analyze the site's analytics, design and layout, research best practices, and collect feedback from key stakeholders to develop recommendations. Okay, so what's the purpose of that? Let's look into that scope. And if we look closely, we'll see, aha, the purpose is to reduce the bounce rate from the home page. This is the whole goal of the project, right? Or purpose. So what's the problem behind this? Well, the bounce rate's too high. Why does that matter? How do we know how to solve this problem? Let's start by asking a question. In fact, let's ask 5 questions. 5 questions that can help save your project. The 5 whys. So if we've got this problem, the bounce rate from the homepage is too high. Let's first ask ourselves, why is this a problem? To answer this problem, we might have to do a little bit of research, figure out what a bounce rate is and why that would be a problem. Well, a bounce rate lets you know how many people come to your website and then leave without going deeper and clicking any links. So this is a problem because a high bounce rate means that visitors are leaving the site quickly without going any deeper and learning more about the organization. So then we ask, well, why don't the visitors click any links? Because it means they aren't finding information of interest to them. Why else wouldn't they click a link? Do you click links when you're not interested? No. So why aren't they finding something that interests them? Here, again, you might actually have to do a little bit of research. Go to the website, look at the analytics, think about the design on the front page, pretend you're a visitor, go through, figure out why it is. Well, when you get there, you find the navigation is very confusing. So you can say, well, because the navigation is confusing. So we've been through 3 whys, and we're getting closer to the root of the problem. So then we can ask ourselves, well, why is the navigation confusing, and why is this a problem? Well, it's a problem if visitors don't get the information they need, because then they don't come back and get involved in the organization. And the 5th why, the real why that's going to get you to the heart of the problem that you need to solve is, well, why do we need visitors to get involved? Because without a large support base, our organization can't meet the needs of our community. In other words, we want to have donors and volunteers to do all the good work that we need to do. And this will impact the organization negatively and the community as well. So that's the 5 whys. And that got us from the problem, the bounce rate being too high, to the real root of the problem and why it matters to the organization. Now, we need to take it one step further so that we understand the impact that this will have on a larger scale. We need to ask ourselves, so what? So what if our organization can't meet the needs of our community? Well, this will mean that more kids end up in the juvenile detention centers. Again, so what? When kids end up in juvenile detention centers rather than in our residential program, they have a higher rate of reoffending after release. Well, so what again? This taxes our public safety and legal systems. So what? With an increased demand, Public safety and legal systems will need to either increase their capacity or be unable to manage the volume. So what? Well, either our crime rate or our taxes will probably go up. Maybe both. Now, we understand the real impact of the problem we're trying to solve. A lot bigger than a bounce rate. A lot more important than a bounce rate. Yikes.